have here is a new drawing. I'm going to go ahead and put a section mark in here. And we're going to jump right into the stair tool. So choose the architecture ribbon. So on the circulation tab, stair. On the bar below the ribbon, we have a location line. Choose run center. That's just going to have us, our path will be drawn down the center of our stair run. A lot of times, though, we have a corner or a stair tower that we're trying to fit the stair into. So we want to use one of the exteriors. For this sample, I'm just going to go ahead and use the run center. Again. And we're going from level 1 to level 2. 18 risers. And I'm going to click finish edit mode. We have our stair. Let's add a landing to this stair. So all we have to do, I'm going to go from level 2. I'm going to pick the stair, edit, choose landing, and then I'm going to sketch the landing. And this sketch can be any shape or size that I want it to be. A couple key things to remember though. One of the boundary lines should match up with the edge of your riser or tread, whatever you ended the stair with. That'll make sure that all the channels that go around the boundary of the entire stair are going to line up. The landing boundary is defined to the insides of the channel. So this green line here, notice I've aligned it to the inside of the channel on this stair. Okay, by aligning it to that channel, make sure that the stringer that's formed is going to clean up. So I have those in exactly the same plane. And then the other thing to realize is that, again, the real boundary of the landing is going to be out here. But for the sake of drawing it, we have to take that offset into account. So I'm going to finish that edit mode. Now before I actually hit the final check mark to finish the edit on the whole stairs, most of the time, one of these landings comes up against a wall. So if you ever had to delete the stringers, you can do that at this point just by selecting on the stringer and pressing the delete key. I'm going to leave the stringer since I don't actually have a door. So let me say OK to that. And check it out in 3D. And there's our stair. Now we do have a cleanup issue here. I'm actually going to go back to my stair here. I'm going to go to edit stairs. And we're going to go into our level. I'm going to pick my landing. And I'm going to edit that sketch. Now we got a nice clean up there. Okay, so there's the landings. Let's go back to level 1. We're going to drag this down. We're going to look at the section. When it comes to stairs in Revit, the way you build them really depends on what your intentions are with the stairs. If the goal is just to have a detail view or a section cut through these stairs with some detail to call out the nosing and type of etc., then I think the best bet, the easiest method, is to use standard 7-inch max riser and 11-inch tread stair. That's got all the default supports, so it's got a 2-inch stringer. If you go into the run type, you can see there's a 2-inch tread thickness. It's a default tread profile with a 1-inch nosing and a default profile for that. The riser thickness is set to 1/8. Whether you slant the riser or not doesn't make a whole lot of difference for this example. So I would leave all that the way that it is, and then use detail components to change to create your detail. So I would take this steel pan section that I have here, Now the out of the box steel pan section detail component does not have these shape handles for you to make adjustments, but I'm going to show you how to do that in a separate video. So for now, I have my steel pan detail component, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it on my first tread down here, and then I'm going to it looks like all my adjustments have already been made. So over here I can change it under the properties, change my dimensions under properties, or I can use the shape handles to do so. So the tread thickness is an easy one. Nosing, the nosing should actually be 1 inch. And then the height is always some weird dimension because we're limited to 7 inches max. So that's where a shape handle comes in real handy, to be able to just snap onto that next tread. Now I would take this and I'm going to array. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to see if I can insert my nosing profile. I'm going to use the stair nosing 3-inch ribbed, which is a custom profile, and I'm going to set that down right on the edge of the tread here, and then use my flip grip. Okay, now I've got my nosing profile in there. I've got my riser, my tread. So now I'm going to array these. And my options, I'm going to make sure group and associate set. I know I have 18 treads, so I'm going to fill that in, and I'm going to keep the move to second option selected. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to try and find the tip of that nosing. I'll copy it up to the tip of this nosing. Enter out of it. And now we have our treads, our nosings, our risers. We have an extra riser here which we don't need. Actually, we have an extra tread here which we don't need. So we could take this and knock it down to 17. And now we have a kind of a nosing profile here. We'll take this guy and we'll just give him. So now we have our landing nosing. So now really the only thing that we're missing is our tread, or is our riser at the underneath the first tread. And we could use a filled region to create the concrete for this landing. So, and I'm not going to make you watch me do that. And since I have this riser underneath this tread I still have to fill in, so I can come in here, I'm going to say it doesn't have a tread anymore, and now all I see is my riser. I can select that, set it on this end there, and now I can hide my stair, and all I have is my detail components as expected. And I guess it would have been a little more complete to add the stringer lines. Let's fill them all in for now, and you come back and trim them out as you're working on the detail. So that's the fastest way to generate sections, detail views for stairs. So if you really want to see these objects in 3 dimensions, if you're going to do like a walkthrough or a virtual reality model, where you'd want to see some of this detail, it gets a little more complicated, but as long as you know your profiles and use some of the tools from Revit, like copy and paste aligned, things like that, to create the profiles, you should be able to create the details that you need in your stair fairly quickly. So start by picking the stair, choose edit type, and then we're going to start by modifying the run type. We're going to duplicate it, just going to add tutorial to the end of the name. And we're going to start with our tread profile. I'm going to change this. I've already created one called Profile Tread Clip. Now here's the thing with the profiles. The nosing profile will always be absorbed into the tread profile. So if you draw them over top of each other, if you draw them next to each other, if there are any lines in that nosing profile that overlap lines from the tread profile, they're going to disappear and the whole thing's going to look like one object. Additionally, the nosing, if you use a nosing profile, you can't assign a material to just the nosing. And a lot of times the nosing is a different material, so I'm going to show you how we get around that too. But for now, I've already created a tread profile that has the outline for the nosing clip that I want to use in it, so that I can see it in the section cut here. So I'm just going to stop there and hit OK, and we'll see what it's going to do to our. So we got a couple of things happening here. See, our riser's stopping short, and the riser's also coming down past the tread about 1/8 of an inch. Now the reason that this is short is because the tread is actually only 1 inch and 7/8 of an inch. If I came to my back here to this and I say my tread thickness is 1 7/8. To clean up the back portion here, we're cleaning up the riser. Let's see if we're going to get our 11 inches, and then from here to here, it's from here to here, it's going to be our inch, actually, and there. So now let's work on that riser. We're going to take that riser, we're going to go edit type, and go back into our run types, and under riser profile, again I've already created one for riser clip. And slides the riser right on in there for us. Now, just to show you what this is, profile riser, this is what that profile looks like. That's slightly different from our detail component because it doesn't have this top piece of the steel here. I anticipate it wouldn't be there since there's going to be a clip there, and it would prevent the traction strip from being flush or close to flush with the surface of the tread, so that gets held back a little bit. This is our 1 foot dimension, because it includes our nosing, and then this is our tread depth as well. It's this angle that varies sometimes, so you still have to take this dimension from whatever the stair section gives you, and then you'd add you would be dimension from the top of tread to top of tread, but you'd have to add the tread thickness on there, so that's why that said 8 inches. You can see we're off by 30 of an inch here. Now our stair tread's cleaned up again. So what about the nosing? How do we get that nosing in there? Now the reason that I put this profile in here is so that when the nosing comes in, I don't want to see a line going through this anchor. I want it to all look like one piece and not be split. So we're going to do that with a line-based family. So we're gonna also have to switch into a 3D view. So again, we can do that by selecting the stair, choosing the selection box tool, and it'll bring this stair right to us with a box around it. And we are going to insert, component, and I have a family loaded already, 3D nosing with traction. I want to make sure that I get on this endpoint. Spent a little too much there. I want to get onto this corner in here too. And there it gives me that little error. And I'm not exactly sure why, because it's not a curve-based family. So I know you're thinking, well, I don't want to see that in plan, and you won't, because if you select the object in the family, go to visibility settings, it's been turned off in plan view. But we will see it in our section. There we go. See, now it lines up with our tread profile. Now the reason I was saying if you use the tools like copy and paste aligned, it's because you can take, as long as you start, at this face right here, where this end of the stringer is also, as long as you start there and draw your geometry from there, everything should line up for you. For example, I'm off a little bit here with my tread, it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go into my riser. I'm going to copy all these lines. I'm going to go over to my tread. I'm going to paste a line to current view. Now I know you're saying, oh, that didn't go where you wanted to. Well, I mean, it kind of did. All I got to do is pick the lines here now. And I know that this point and this point should line up. And now I want to make sure that all these blue lines are on one of those as well. Thought that line was off a little more than it is. Thought we'd see that. Yeah. Now I can select these again. I am going to have to delete the double lines around those edges. Load it back to my. And now our tread's cleaned up. So now, just like we did with the detail component in the previous exercise, we can take these nosings, group and associate. We know we got 18 of them. This time we do want it to go up to the landing. And we're going to move it to the second. And you could use pretty much any point you want. I could use the back of the tread here. I could use the point from the anchor. Any point that remains the same throughout the staircase. There we go. And then again, if I select my stair, go to my view, and there's my treads. We want to modify the stringer, so we'll go into edit type. Down here under supports, we're going to leave the stringer closed. That's exactly what we want. But we do want to switch to a 12-inch channel. And the 12-inch channel is actually, the original profile is mirrored, so this one needs to have the profile flipped so that it looks correct. So keep those in mind, and we'll say okay to that. And then this one is also going to be 12-inch channel. And we lost the constraint, but I'm not sure that matters. Ooh, let's see what happened. Yeah, I've noticed this, that the nosings will lose association with these faces at times. Usually after doing something like I just did. So the solution is really just that's why I kept them aligned, or kept them grouped when I rate them. Typically I wouldn't do that because the groups, too many groups in a drawing will slow it down. But for this I do leave them grouped, because when this happens all you have to do is realign them to the top of the tread. You might have to do the first 2 or 3 before the line picks up the pattern again, but nope, this one is taking it the whole way. Yeah, and that's it. Now those are back and fixed again. So we can go back to our 3D view. And there we go. 3D treads with accurate risers and nosings and stringers. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it or found something useful. If so, help me out and press the like button below. Click the subscribe button and you'll get notifications when new videos are uploaded.